Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
One of All the Gear But No Idea, South Australia's #1 fishing podcast. Diz, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rhodey. Great to be here as your co-host, and this is usually where sometimes the batsmen will get a bit ahead of themselves. They've just made 50, they knock a single around, they might get a bit of them ahead of themselves and try and take someone over Cal Corner and get caught on the boundary or something, but we're not going to do that. We're going to press on.
So we're knuckling down, keeping it in the V.
We're knuckling down. We're going to reset. We're going to get the content happening, and we're going to just keep chipping away at the ton.
Just keep bringing the energy, bringing the big guests.
Bringing the energy.
We've got a big guest today, Diz.
We do, Rhodey. Fitting that our most downloaded episode in Stu Ferenci, absolute pelagic gun.
He catches a lot of fish, Stu.
Will be joining us later to tell us all about what he's been up to, and we very much look forward to having a chat with him. But Rhodey, we should get into the episode today and get stuck in our oranges and lemons, and I might just kick us off on a bit of a sour note here because...
Is this lemons and oranges or is this lemons?
Well, I do... Towards the latter half of this show is probably due to a lack of sleep.
You haven't taught Ned to sleep through yet?
Given that Ned, the newborn, is leaving a lot to be desired in the sleeping department. Yes. No, we've had a few tips from some great friends of the show, Dan and Flacky.
What wisdom did they give you?
Controlled crime. They've given me some tips because I've been bitching and moaning to them about how I'm not getting any sleep and I can't go out fishing, so they've been very helpful. But that's my lemon. Rhodey, what's your lemon?
Look, Diz, my lemon is not actually fishing related. I haven't been out fishing the last fortnight. I know it shocks you all, but Lucy is 39 weeks pregnant now, so I'm...
They're on a fishing ban.
Unlike you, I've just had a little 2-week hiatus. You had about 10 weeks?
Yeah, I did. I had... The best part of the second half of the pregnancy was the fishing.
But I think I'm getting, this baby will come before long. We'll be back into him. But anyway, Diz, what was I going to do when I'm, at home waiting for the inevitable birth? Mow my lawn, Diz. Lots. Get the lawn looking good. Get the bowling green action.
Of course.
What happened? My lawnmower bloody broke again. The Scott Bonner.
Flat.
The mounting for the reel has cracked.
What sort of damage are we talking there?
I'd love to know. It's down at the mower shop. They're trying to source a part.
It's a busy time of year for a mower shop, I would have thought. It's probably getting to a less busy time of year now, though, for them. Growing season's certainly starting.
Yeah, and I did say that a couple of weeks. The growing season's over, and that could have jinxed me.
Yeah.
Anyway, my broken lawnmower is my lemon. I'm flat.
Gosh. All right, well, that's been a sour note, big guy. Let's get into the oranges, and mine is certainly going to be that we did manage to sneak away to the Yorke Peninsula last weekend, have a bit of a weekend away, and it was great to get out on the boat, do a bit of outdoor activities, albeit that it was limited, partially weather related, but also I was on the tools, so to speak, in the nappy changing department.
Yeah, two questions for you, Diz. Where was my invite? One.
You're on your fishing hiatus, mate.
And number two, what was Ned's form like on the whiting?
Not great. He's not quite got the coordination that you need yet for fishing, but we will. Like any good junior angler, you need to get him on the water.
Have you put him in the boat yet?
Yes, he was in the water.
He sat in the boat in the water.
Yes, all good.
Good start.
Yes, yep, he's there.
Yeah, all right.
That was good. Yours ready?
Diz, mine is very much podcast related. I've been tracking our download numbers very closely.
Okay.
January was a record month. And February is very close to being another record month. And with this big episode with Stu, launching with sort of 5 or 6 days left in the month, we are going to smash the record. And that'll be 2 record months in a row, Diz.
Well, there you go. So are we getting some traction, or what's happening?
We're going from strength to strength here, guys.
Okay.
We'll be national, international before long.
Excellent. Can't wait. I'm sure everyone else can't either.
And what did we think about the lemons before oranges thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a bit of an interesting take on the whole segment.
Anyway, I think we'll go back to starting off with the positives next week.
Okay, all right. Well, fair enough. Anyway, we've ended on a positive.
Yeah.
Okay, Rhodey, this is something we do obviously touch on each episode, and it is, of course, the merch. It's fair to say that cap sales have slowed down, given that summer and the sort of warmer part of the months are sort of coming to a close, but it is important to remember that the UV can be high in winter.
Caps can also keep rain off your head.
Yes, they can. And they can keep your noggin warm if you're balding like Rhodey, so that's a positive as well. Maybe we should take some and just give them out at events, like, we've got a wedding coming up.
What, to bald people, or?
If it's raining, we'll hand them out.
People with ugly looking heads?
Yeah, just put a cap on. Put a cap on, buddy. That's not a good lid.
No, I agree. And we're looking into a winter range, Diz.
Actually, while we're on the subject of caps, very disappointing news coming out of the Fishing Guru. Lost the hat in the Coast to Coast Tuna tournament.
Too many beers at night, or was that a water-based?
It was a water-based lost property scenario.
Have you dropped him down a freshie?
No, I haven't, but I am going to, because Dan's one of our greatest advocates, and I'll always love seeing him out and about in a all the gear hat. So we will get one down there too, Dan. But
it is very rare to see him tagged in a photo
my...
on Facebook without his cap on.
Yes, it is. That should have been my lemon.
Yes, I agree. All right, Diz, let's get into the news, mate. What do you got for us?
Well, Rhodey, as we know, because our friend is running as a member in the upcoming election, March the 19th.
Yes.
That is when the state election is on, and we are seeing some big promises come out over the last week or so.
Yep.
Particularly some policy documents in regards to the recreational fishing sector. Have you been across this?
Yeah, I've been keeping a reasonably close eye on this, Diz. So we did talk about the Labor promises. I can't remember if that was the last episode or maybe the one before that, when Peter Malinauskas had that little picture out on a local jetty, Diz. The Libs have bitten back and they've given us their promise. They've talked about investing $1 million towards the SA Seafood Growth Strategy 2021 to 2031. So that's 10 years. So they've talked about $450,000 towards a grant program to encourage fish tech value-adding projects, e.g. innovation in filleting machines or packaging. $300,000 to set up a peak South Australian commercial seafood body. $100,000 towards regional recreational fishing events. So that's the first money for the recos. $100,000 towards an industry-led seafood marketing pilot. So that's more to the pros. $30,000 to the Minister's Recreational Fishing Advisory Council to promote recreational citizen science initiatives.
Where are they gonna park that $30,000?
Well, I don't know. MRFAC will come up with something. And $20,000 towards a recreational golden fish tag competition. And that says here on Minister Basham's Facebook page, that'll be 20 times $1,000 prizes. Two things to take from that, Diz. Did you do the sums as I was?
No, I wasn't keeping count, but I didn't need to because it's overwhelmingly outside of the recreational fishing sector.
So I was adding that up quickly in my head, and $850,000 of that went to commercial fishing. Only $150,000 to recreational fishers.
Flat.
My next point would be, how much is it for that barra you catch up in Darwin?
$1 million.
I thought it was $1 million. 20,000 seems like a pittance. Pull your fingers out and give us a bit more coin.
Do it.
And my third point was, that is a 10-year plan. And
10-year plan, that spans over the next 2 and a bit bloody election cycles.
Yeah, and look, I would say that the new funding was over 2 years, but I would say $1 million over 2 years isn't heaps.
Well, yeah.
In the big picture.
No, that's right. Not in the big picture.
Particularly when 85% of it's going to the pros.
Yeah. Well, so don't know what to say about that.
It's a bit underwhelming from the libs. Look, I'm not sure. We might have to get Basham on again.
We might.
I'm not sure where I'm speaking terms, but...
We might. Actually, you might not want to listen to us rant and rave in this regard, but nonetheless, we do see these promises come out at this time of year. Quite frankly, I don't think that they mean a heck of a lot, because there's often the scenario whereby they do not come to fruition.
Yeah, look, it's words on paper at this stage, Diz.
Yeah, that's right. It's almost a bit of lip service in some regards.
All right, let's move on to our next piece of news. We did touch on the MRFAC in that last one, and another committee member out. And this is a big name, Diz.
Well, yes, I mean, I was going to say, Rody, great friend of the show.
Yes.
Lee
Van Soest.
Yes, was made her announcement.
Yeah, so she sent a resignation letter to Mr. Basham on the 28th of January.
Yes.
And she's put a bit of a thing up on her Facebook page saying how the MRFAC was an eye-opener, learnt a lot, but ultimately probably didn't think they were getting listened to.
Yeah.
That's a fair summary of what she's said, I think, Diz.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, look, Lee is a very busy person. She's been doing an enormous amount of work with her Reeling in Junior Anglers program, which actually we should make mention on the podcast here, is being globally recognised.
And we've got some more news on that coming up too, Diz.
Okay, yes. Well, I'll hold my horses on there, Rody. But she does an amazing amount of work and was very suited, I thought, to the MRFAC to help guide some initiatives, and It is disappointing to hear, I would say, that she feels as though some of those ideas and some of the things that the MRFAC have put forward have fell on deaf ears.
So certainly to me, she contacted Minister Basham as a MRFAC member and then again as the SA president of the ANSA, and didn't feel like she got adequately listened to or considered. So it's bit flattening that the fishing minister probably hasn't maybe given these organisations enough recognition.
Yes.
But I suppose the good news is, Diz, Lee has assured us that she is not going to disappear.
Yes.
She's staying very involved in fishing through her junior programs, through the different organisations she's involved with.
Yes.
The ANSA, Tuna Champions, Recfish SA, all those things. So it's a loss to the MRFAC, but not a loss necessarily to South Australian fishing, Diz.
No, because I'm sure that Lee will continue her excellent work across a number of different spaces. In fact, it probably allows her a bit more time to concentrate on some of those things where she's almost in charge of her own destiny in that regard.
Exactly right, Diz. And it's a bit, the MRFAC, when we first heard about it, we thought it had some, real potential.
And look, it's probably fair to say that it still does, but it is just disappointing to hear that what it has been set up for has not been... And
just the turnover of members. Lee Van Soest would have been a great member of the committee.
Yes.
Shane Mensforth was on at the start.
Yes.
You couldn't really think of too many more respected, names in South Australian fishing. When you've got people of that sort of calibre handing in their resignation, it's got to be pretty disappointing, I would have thought.
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely.
All right, Diz, next one. We'll move on from that. That's a sad story.
It is. Rody, tell us what's next in the news department.
So we are going to move on to the announcement that Recfish SA made that the spearfishing rules have been changed, Diz. So that's a good one.
Okay.
So this has been something that a previous guest, 2 episodes ago, David Schofield.
Yeah, right. Yes, was he's president of the skin divers.
Golf skin divers.
Yeah.
And he has been very heavily involved in campaigning for better access for spearfishers along the Metro coastline. And a big win for the spearfishermen and women they have got some access to some metro coastline, Diz.
Okay, fantastic news.
So
They're
they've
more accessible for some.
Yeah, so they've secured the right to spearfish within 100 metres of the coast in 2 areas off metropolitan waters. Those areas are within 100 metres of the immediate southern side of the Outer Harbour breakwater, from the boundary of Kingston Park Marino to the southernmost side of Balboa Drive Car Park, Hallett Cove. So Hallett Cove and the Outer Harbour breakwater, Tiz.
Yes, right, fantastic.
And maps are available on the PERSA website.
What do you think they'd be targeting off there, Roddy?
I reckon you get flatted.
Flatties.
Yeah.
Might get some schooled up whiting.
Yeah, you'd be happy with the whiting, wouldn't you?
Oh, you'd be absolutely thrilled if you stumbled across a little school of whiting. But I guess once you get out there and you get amongst them, you never know what you might see.
If your name's Dave Schofield and you love eating a strong fish, I'm sure there'd be some of them out there.
Well, yes, absolutely. I'm sure there would be.
So that's a win, Diz. We're putting that down as a good news story.
That is. That's excellent news. Excellent news indeed. Roddy, what else have we got? We've got some announcements out of, as we mentioned earlier, the Reeling in Junior Anglers program. There's some new ambassadors.
Yes, they have. They've announced their 2022 ambassadors. So we had Jai.
Yes.
On last year.
Yes, we did.
And we shared a fair bit of gear of theirs over 2021. And great to see some new ambassadors for the 2022 season, so all across the state. So they had so many nominations this year, they've added 2 wildcard entries, Diz.
Yeah, right.
So this year we have, I'm just doing the quick sums, there's 9 ambassadors for the junior program, and we will try and get one of them on, I reckon, Diz.
Absolutely. It's great to hear from them. I'm sure they can tell us all about their first-hand experience with the Junior Anglers program. No doubt some great days had. And
we'll just give them all a quick shout-out, Diz. So from the Eyre Peninsula, we've got Taj. From York Peninsula, Bailey. From the inland regions, freshwater fishing, Harry. We've got Nate from the Coorong and Southeast. Buddy from the Fleurieu Peninsula. Jordan, Adelaide Metro South. Harvey, Adelaide Metro North. And the 2 wild card ambassadors are Bailey and Cadell.
How good.
It's great, Diz.
Not Cadell from Cadell.
Not sure, Diz. Not sure.
Okay.
Cadell won the Make a Fishing Lure competition.
How good.
So he's already had a bit of success.
Don't tell me they're getting into Flacky's space. Flacky might need to be a bit of a mentor for young Cadell.
Oh, yeah, we could make that connection.
Might be able to team up. Might be able to, anyway. So there's a bit of food for thought.
Anyway, Diz, a big shout out to them. Yes. And great stuff to Reeling in Junior Anglers and all that they're achieving.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Roddy. What else have we got in the news for this week, Roddy? Of course, we follow Team Just a Girl in all of their social interactions. They've had a recent trip away poling some tuna off out at Tacoma. Was that right?
Yeah, out off the Eyre Peninsula. They went over to Port Lincoln, did a bit of training, and caught heaps of fish.
Yeah, it looked like an amazing experience. I believe an annual trip for Team Just a Girl.
I think that's the plan.
So that was great to see. But they've also got a new series coming out.
Yeah, so they do, Diz. So Get Hooked Fishing with Team Just a Girl, Season 3. They've got an episode coming up on the Port Mac Tuna Comp.
Oh, good.
And Tracy has just told us that will be on Channel 44 before long.
How good.
And they're encouraging everyone else to get involved and make the trip down to Port Mac for the 41st competition down there.
Yes, no, absolutely. We love that Tracy and Team Just a Girl, they get amongst every single tournament there is across the state. So that's really good. And while we're on that, Roddy, of course, we have coming up this weekend the John Johnston Memorial Wirrina Tuna Slam.
Yes, Diz, looking forward to that one. We're not going to get along with
yes, unfortunately.
Other commitments.
Running Saturday 26th, Sunday 27th. If the weather doesn't play the game and it's unfavourable, they will reschedule to the following weekend. That'll be the 5th and 6th of March.
I think it's locked in though, Diz.
Yes, I believe it is, but it's just worthwhile noting that the weather can change last minute.
It can.
So it's always worthwhile just penciling in both dates if you're really keen on fishing the comp. But some highlights out of that, Roddy, of course, is some significant prizes up for grabs totaling 10 grand. And there's some $3,000 cash prize for the person with the largest or heaviest combined weight of 2 tuna over both days.
And the other thing is, there's a $1,000 cash prize for the daily biggest fish.
Yes.
So if you can only fish one day,
Still worthwhile getting down.
still worth your while. And then there's $2,500 of products each day for first, second, third prizes for both adults and juniors.
Yes.
So that's that adds up to $10,000 if you did the sums.
Yes, it does. And obviously, if you are going to go down and fish in the comp, it would be worth your while. In fact, you'd be silly not to get into How's Your Tackle, place an order via their socials, or get in touch with Dan directly for flaked ice, burley pilchards, or IQF. And as we know, or we will hear later on from Stu, those IQF pilchards are just tuna candy.
They certainly are, dears, and I reckon once we get these babies a little bit older and we go out fishing again, I think we do get into the cubing a little bit more. We have been trolling our last couple of trips out.
Yep.
But I reckon that's our next trip, Diz.
Absolutely. And the best thing about that is they'll deliver that to the comp for you for pre-orders.
That's beautiful, Diz. They're good down there, aren't they?
You can just get there. You don't have to carry your bait the whole way down. You don't have to worry about whether the ice is going to be good for when you rock up. You've got both days. You can place your order. You know it's going to be there. So, obviously Boyd and Dan doing a wonderful job down there at How's Your Tackle.
Yes, Diz, they do.
Righto, Rody. That was a very comprehensive news segment, I thought.
It was, Diz. Plenty to cover there. Bit of good, bit of bad.
Yeah, and if you are planning on fishing the Wirrina comp, it's worthwhile listening to our next guest because he's going to give you some good tips. Rody, let's get Stu Ferenci on the line.
Diz, we are joined here today by Stu Ferenci. Stu, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me back again.
Oh, mate, it's an absolute pleasure to have you back on board. You were our inaugural guest. And
It was a long time ago now.
it
And
does.
You've still had our most downloads too, Stu.
Yes, you can. I was just about to say the same thing, Rody. You do hold a very lucrative prize, Stu, as being the most downloaded episode of our podcast.
Oh, that makes me feel a bit special.
Maybe we started from the top and we're going downhill from here, Diz.
Yeah, well, no, not at all. No, it's been great what you guys have done and following it. Yeah, I know everyone loves it. So, yeah, you've had some really cool guests and stuff on and had a couple of ministers and some politicians on. So, you've got a good variety. It's been good.
Yeah, no, thanks for listening, mate. It's always good to get that sort of feedback and good to have our former guests listen along and stay involved, which is great.
Yeah, I haven't missed an episode yet. It's always easy to whack on driving to work, in the car or at work, in the office. So.
Fantastic, mate. That's great. Well, look, let's get into it because you've been flat stick, mate. I'm sure with everything that's been going on, crazy tuna season, everything. But I did want to ask you about what you've been up to in regards to the boat license courses. So tell us what's been happening there.
Yeah, so I guess in a nutshell, COVID obviously hit and it affected everyone. It affected my work quite a bit. And I was working as the executive officer, which is effectively like the manager, the GM for Recreation SA. They sort of wound up and closed doors because of COVID, loss of funding, and I transitioned to Surf Life Saving SA.
Yep.
Okay.
So I've been there now for about, coming up to 18 months, I reckon. It's over a year. Looking after their sub-brand, which is Life Saving SA, which is all the water safety for pools and inland waterways. But I guess as part of that, I saw a real opportunity with they're an RTO, obviously, Surf Life Saving SA is a fully accredited RTO. I saw a real opportunity with the commercial manager, she was already working on it at the time, about recreational boat licenses.
Yep.
And building a course. So effectively, we built the course content, lots of meetings with government, and eventually got it approved by DIT Marine, Department of Infrastructure Transport, and their marine guys. And being the peak water safety body, not just in SA, but I mean nationally and globally, Surf Life Saving SA, that iconic red and yellow symbol. Be a government, not-for-profit organisation, we can obviously deliver the courses at a much more affordable and competitive rate. So we have that point of difference. I've also been on the water since I was 3 or 4 years old, and I'm 34 this year. So 3 decades on the water, like growing up at Port Walker, Fisherman's Bay, then York Peninsula, then Port Noarlunga with Mum and Dad at Dinga Beach, and I'm now pretty much living in Victor Harbour. So yes, although like I'm got the experience for decades on the boats and in the water, like you never stop learning fishing or really anything in life for that matter. But everything in South Australia with boat licences, we're pretty lucky, obviously. It's all around safety, like, which is great, but I mean every state's different. Like Northern Territory, it still blows people's minds when I tell them they don't actually have a boat licence up there, and no blood alcohol limit either on a boat. And
that's dangerous.
So yeah, it is dangerous, but we're a bit lucky, whereas ours is all around safety. So effectively, I share as much practical knowledge as I can for those that attend my courses. We got approved to deliver them back in November 2021, and since then I've delivered 14 or 15 individual courses all across the state. So it's Lifesaving SA headquarters, West Beach there, then I've gone to Beachport, Whyalla, Lincoln, got one coming up in Victor in March, and every class has been pretty much at full capacity with COVID. So it's been going gangbusters, and obviously, you know, boating, fishing is what I do, and it's what I love. So yeah, I've really loved every minute of being able to share my knowledge that I've learnt, and obviously go through and cover all the required safety aspects that you need to know to have a recreational boat licence in SA.
Yeah, that's great, Stu. Really good to have someone with real life experience teaching fresh boaties these sort of things and keeping them safe. I've been talking about sending Dad down to do one of these boat license courses. I might send him down to you, and you might teach him how to catch a tuna too.
Can certainly help with that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting a really good spread as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to be 16 to get your boat license, and I've got young kids, you know, as young as 16, and then I've got you know, some of the older population, different cultures and everything. So it's been a really good mix of people, both male and female as well. So yeah, no, it's been good.
That's excellent, mate. And I mean, I'm casting my mind back quite a few years now, because I've been around boats with my family since I was sort of 4 or 5 years old as well. And back in the day, there used to be a practical component when you were a bit younger than that to get your boat license, and then you sort of got your full license after a period of time. But one thing I would comment on, which is fantastic to hear now, is back in the day, well, once it moved away from that practical component, it was really about reading through a book and then just plugging in the right answers. So I'm 100% confident that the people are getting much more practical, and then will be safer on the water and behave better around other more experienced boaties if they can have that learning from someone like yourself or an experienced person when they do get out on the water.
Yeah, and you are right. I did mine as well. I reckon it was at Fort Vincent, and I would have been, I don't even know if I was 12, maybe 12, 13, and I got my boat licence then, and I had to go around in the little rubber ducky and stuff, and then I got the special permit, and that rolled over into the boat licence.
Yeah.
But yeah, as it stands, you can walk into any service SA centre right now, read through the boating safety handbook, complete the online practice exams, and then sit your test. And if you pass it, you get your boat licence. Now, what those people are learning by doing that, you know, I don't really know. I would much rather be able to at least show, demonstrate pass on some of my knowledge, as well as cover all that required safety stuff that, yes, is crucial and important, and you need to know, like our classifications of waters and life jackets, and which life jackets we need to wear in which waters, and what safety equipment we need. It's much more comprehensive than just reading through it by yourselves, doing a practice exam, and then walking in and sitting your test.
Yeah, look, it's great to hear, Stu, and it's a great step in the right direction, and surely going to make things safer. So really glad someone like you's taken this on. It's great to see.
No, thank you. And yeah, if you just go to our website, Surf Lifesaving SA, and go into the courses, I think we've got 4 or 5 courses in March, and they're all filling up really quick. So for anyone that hasn't got theirs and is interested, equitable than a lot of other people because we are that government not-for-profit organisation.
Yeah. So you would have followed the boat ramp being fixed down there, Stu?
I did, yes. I followed it and waited. And it was right next door, so it was very noisy with all the excavators and trucks. And so, yeah, no, I have followed that. It's good that it's finally back open.
And how's it looking? It's working okay, is it?
Yeah, no, it's still going to be, slippery and whatnot, especially being so new.
Yeah.
But, better than what it was, because obviously they had the massive issue with all the, the tires and whatnot. So, it is better than what it was, so...
Yeah, good to hear, Stu. So that's your full-time gig. Now, we want to hear about your side hustle. You've been doing a bit of work on Go Get 'em charters down at Victor Harbour. You've been cleaning up both personally and with them. Give us a bit of a wrap about your tuna season so far, Stu.
Yeah, so it has been hot, which has been great. So, obviously, it's been doing a bit of deckhand work for Go Get 'em. So, skipper Tommy Di Vittorio. So Tommy and I became friends many years ago fishing off Victor. And just that etiquette and that old, you help each other out in the fishing game. So, he used to help me if I struggled for fish and vice versa. And we all have those days. Every fisho does. Even myself, that's just part of it. We days that we struggle. And then I guess that friendship grew. And then I started working for Tommy as a deckhand with my best mate, Tommy Hart. And then he had his other deckie already in place, Nelson. And Nelson's the local Victor Harbour crayfish king. And I reckon I started about 5-6 years ago, And between the three of us, we would give Tommy a hand when he needs it and when we can. It's obviously good fun. We have a laugh. It brings lots of customers joy catching fish, particularly their first tuna, their first southern bluefin tuna. They absolutely, froth it when they hear that rod start screaming. Tommy, Nelson and I are always hassling Captain Tom to put us on full time or give us the boat for the weekend. So we'd all love to do it, and hopefully one day, may eventuate. We do get a lot of sick customers on board though, which always provides some entertainment, especially off the Victor. So my advice to anyone who wants to go out, especially if you've got young kids, get them on a boat early, just like we all were, from the ages of 3 and 4, from the day they're born even. We obviously teamed up a few years ago in Coast to Coast and won it, which was awesome. This year we didn't enter the comp. Tom's just been so busy with COVID and people not travelling interstate.
Yeah.
He's just been fully booked with charters. So of every 3 charts I get, I'm helping him on the boat, deckhanding for him and helping customers catch fish. So it's been awesome. And then I guess for my tuna season personally, locally, touch wood, I haven't missed, which has been great this season. Lots of solo sessions in Dad's boat.
Yeah.
And I just love being out solo. It's peaceful, it's quiet, no kids, it's tranquil. I think I had a session in late January and I had 20 plus fish on deck before probably 10, 11 a.m. just in a couple of hours. I had school to myself. I didn't actually lost count, but when I came in, I had 20 empty tags, so I knew I'd tag at least 20 fish. It didn't matter what you did that day, whether it was a Halco hard-bodied lure or a Trolsa hard skirt or a stick boat or a slug. They were just smashing everything. And now at the moment, late in the season, it's just Boyd and Dan's how's your tackle? Let's go fishing IQF pilch. It's just doing the damage at the moment. They're just tuna, they're just on the tube. And probably on the tube and casting at them is probably the most enjoyable way.
Yeah.
Because it's just so exciting. It's obviously complete chaos, but it's all visual. It's all on the surface. You literally watch them either take your stick bait, your lure, or the pilchard, and they'll just stay with you. They'll just stay with you when it's this late in the season and they're not to the boat side and the biomass is sort of here. And as long as you keep feeding them, they'll just sit underneath your boat. So it's been a pretty good season.
That's fantastic, mate. We've certainly made us pretty jealous because with kids and everything like that ourselves, we haven't been able to get it out as much as we would have liked. But please do tell us, mate, how was it fishing the coast to coast? We saw that you got a number of people onto some really good, healthy fish, and a great couple of days for the crew, no doubt.
Yeah, and obviously the Coast to Coast tournament, every year is really good and successful, and Steve do a great job. They sort of changed like some of the prize categories from the year we won it, and the charter boats in a different category. And like I said, Tommy was just fully booked, so we just worked that weekend, so we weren't actually in the comp, but we did get some really good fish, and thankfully the weather was actually much better than the previous couple of years.
Yes.
As you boys would know, we've had crappy weather around the tuna comp, the Coast to Coast tuna comp, but this year was much better, and all boats were able to fish both days. Fish were a bit small though, which was a bit disappointing. We did get one that probably would have been a touch 20 or a touch over that got sharked. His head was pretty big, so I think his head was 15 or 16 kilos. So, but just most of the fish that were getting way in were just on the small side, which is a bit strange because when it first started, I remember most of them winning was sort of 25 to 30 kilo fish.
Yeah, certainly, and people were getting bigger fish the couple of weeks before, I reckon, than they did on the competition weekend, which was a bit disappointing as well. But you mentioned the sharks. Everyone keeps saying how many fish they're losing to sharks. Do you think there's more out there this year, Stu, or what do you reckon?
I don't think there's more out there. I think they're always out there, but they do seem to be coming up and feeding in the bait balls.
Yeah.
So I've seen so many sharks and so many videos where you've got a bust up and there's dolphins, tuna, and then there's 4 or 5 big bronzes eating the bait. Yeah. And then obviously as soon as the tuna gets hooked, they chase after that. Yeah. So, they're just, they're always there, but they do seem to be, for whatever reason this season, a lot more active in the actual bait balls up on the surface.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly seems like every time you come into the boat ramp, everyone's talking about how many they lost to sharks and whatever else. So we'd certainly agree they do seem to be out there more. It seems, Stu, like you're spending more and more time down at Victor Harbour and you're pretty into this charter game. Is that where you want to head?
Is that what, sorry?
Is that where you'd like to head? Do you want to do more and more of the charter stuff? Or?
I mean, ideally, I'd love to be able to work in the industry full time.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting all my tickets and stuff, commercial tickets in July, so like my Coxons and my Master 5 and things like that. So what doors that opens, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment I've got no ambition to sort of buy my own boat or start my own charter or anything like that. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, but it's always good to upskill, and who knows? It just opens the door to, you can work on the tuna boats or the cray boats, or, take out the charter boat on weekends for Tommy, give him a bit of a break. He won't mind me saying this, he's getting a bit older, so he wouldn't mind a bit of a sleep in on shore on weekends, and then, myself, Tommy and Nelson can take the boat out and stuff. So, definitely looking to get into something eventually, with that, and whether that's with surf lifesaving with the boat licenses, and we start dipping into commercial side delivery, all of that sort of stuff. So
well, I suppose it's one of those things, isn't it? You sort of got to tick off those things first, which you're obviously doing, and then, like you say, you never know where that might lead. So we look forward to keeping in touch with you, mate, about what you get up to next.
Really looking forward to it. So
brilliant, mate. Well, tell us about the kingies. You've been getting onto a few.
I have. So without doubt, my favourite fish to chase and catch. They're obviously very elusive. Well, for me, they have been, or they were. I actually got my biggest one this year. He was a beast. He was 155 centimetres, about 30 kilo from memory. He was like 29.8, I think, when we put him in the sling. Jeez. They obviously fall 10 times harder than school tuna. It's such an amazing fishery that we have. We're obviously very lucky. I do get a little bit frustrated with our Northern Kingfish fishery. Obviously, nobody owns the ocean or the sea or that area, and we are very protective of it, which is great. But at the same time, regardless of where the fish are, and people obviously know where they are, there's so much politics and abuse, especially with social media that goes on. Like it's not a secret that we catch good kingfish here in SA. It's been on TV shows such as iFish, and it's been in all of our magazines for years. It's promoted locally. Social media is just going so out of hand, and I think you guys would agree with that. Like, people just carry on like children and think they have the right to, abuse people, and, it's actually the funniest thing is that my new partner has no interest in fishing whatsoever, and she sits back and watches it all from afar and calls it fishing with the Kardashians. she laughs her head off because some of the stuff we see and we talk about and you hear, it's just, when you sit back and you actually look back at it, it's just nonsense and ridiculous for grown men and women.
Yeah.
And I know it's everywhere. It's not just in the fishing industry. It's the world we live in. But, the world of trolls and entitlement, we just have to be better as an industry and as a society. And, so for me, for example, I'm the perfect example of how hard it is to catch thingies. So there is a fine art to it, and of course, you've got to have some luck. I think I did 3 years in a row going up with people and by myself. I didn't land a fish.
Wow.
And I was trying to watch and learn, and like everything, there is that special skill, which I've now been taught and learned, like setting the live baits, constantly adjusting depths of downriggers, moons, tide phases, times of days, which way the school's swimming to drop your jig. And I do have to thank a lot of that to people like Shane Evans, Adam Tripodi, my best mate Tommy Hart, and then probably the two main fishers that really helped me was Paulie Salvatore, who got me my first ever king, followed by 5 more I think on that weekend, and then Scotty Klitikos, who's a local Whyalla lad, and he's like me, he's been up there his entire life and knows those waters. And to me, that's what fishing's about, is your mates helping each other, having fun, catching fish. And I think we've lost sight of that a little bit. It just seems to be so much jealousy and secretiveness, and he's got the biggest boat and the biggest fish, and people have just sort of, I guess, lost sight of just helping each other and being able to catch that once in a lifetime fish, And so I think I did 2 trips up there this season and I think I got 3 was my best trip, which for me is fantastic. I'll be happy with 1 big king. So in 2 trips I think I got 4 fish, so I was stoked. And it is such an amazing fishery that we have up there, and we obviously do need to protect it and be sustainable. It's been awesome catching those big kings.
And tell us, Stu, did you have one that got recaptured? Was that right?
I did.
Tell us about that.
Actually, my biggest one until this season, my first ever king with Paulie, we put a tag in it, obviously.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, it got caught out of the cabbage patch, which is out of Port Lincoln Coffin. And so it hadn't really grown. I think it had obviously matured, but he had lost a bit of weight.
Yeah, okay.
I think. So he might have been a kilo or so lighter, but when they took the tag out and you did the calculation from where I caught him at Port Augusta, where he got caught, and he'd swum back, and then because it was a 2-year thing, it's something like 198 nautical miles that they tracked this fish.
It's
no
a long way.
No wonder he'd lost a bit of weight. He'd burned off.
Sorry?
I say no wonder he'd lost a bit of weight. He'd been travelling a bloody long way.
Well, that's right, but you can just see, it just shows you that those offshore kings really do go up there to spawn, and they obviously have done for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they're going to keep doing it. They'll follow that hot water and spawn up there, so we are obviously extremely lucky to have that fishery. But I personally, and obviously this is just, my thoughts and my talking and comments, I'm so grateful that I got shown how to catch these amazing fish. And for the new people that are going up there that do cop the flack, and it's just not on, people want to catch a once-in-a-lifetime fish, and we need to, just like those people that I listed help me, we need to, you know, encourage those people to do it. I can't wait to take my son down there when he's old enough and catch him his first big kingfish, you know?
And the other thing, like, I think you're right, these shared learnings and that stop people from, you know, making some of those mistakes which people might frustrating. If we do share knowledge and share understanding, then, you know, hopefully that weeds out all the, like you say, keyboard warriors and trolls who are just there to stir the pot and not there for any good reason. So, you're definitely on the money there, Stu. We couldn't agree anymore.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I didn't have those people that, you know, that helped me, I'd probably still be trying to catch my first king. Watching everyone else catch them and trying to figure out what am I doing wrong. Because, like I said, there is a fine art to it. You know, you could have your downrigger at, you know, a metre too high and you miss all day, or, you know, all of those little things just come into play. You know, you're throwing your jig the wrong way where the school's going, and, you know, all those little things come into it. Obviously, you need luck. That's part of fishing. But there is those little bits that you start to pick up and you go, oh, yeah, that makes sense, you know. Just a little simple one like fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
You know, so the kingies don't see it. They got big eyes, same as your tuna. Everything I run, all my traces are all fluorocarbon.
Yeah,
you know,
makes a difference.
I don't use anything else. And that's made a huge difference for them in my pelagic fishing.
Now, Stu, last one of the serious questions we've got for you. You've probably got a unique point of view, having run the courses, worked on the charter, and caught a lot of fish yourself. With the election coming up, have you got a thought or an opinion on the fishing licence debate that's been going on over the last couple of years?
I do, and again, I can only speak for myself. My view is, if it worked like the Victorian licence, I'm 100% for it.
Yeah.
So the Victorian licence model, all the money from that, and I can't remember how much it is, I think it's like $15 or $20 a year, all the money goes back into recreational fishing.
Yes.
If we have a licence like that, I'm all for it, because they don't have boat ramp fees. Like, I've been to Portland chasing barrels. I still haven't caught one yet. That's my next to-do list, is to catch at least a 100-kilo barrel tuna at Port Mac or Portland. But you go from Port Mac to Portland, and just the difference in the facilities that their boat ramps have. You know, like I said, you don't pay ramp fees in Victoria, or very few that I'm aware of, and all that money generated from that recreational fishing licence pumped back into recreational fishing. And if that was to happen in SA, I'm all for it. If it was just going to be a money grab by the government, and it's not going to come back into recreational fishing, then I wouldn't be happy with the outcome. But as long as, you know, obviously you're going to need someone to manage that licence, but, you know, let's say, 70-90% of that money comes back into recreational fishing, I'd be all for it.
Yes, Stu, I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head, and that is exactly what we think. If it's all the money's going to stay in fishing, then it's a great thing. But there is some apprehension about exactly where that money is going to go. I think you've summed it up beautifully.
Yeah, and I think at last count, I think it was through Recfish SA, or one of the fishing councils. I think it was like, we had nearly 300,000 recreational boaties and fishers in the state. So if you do the math and charging them, $15 to $20 a year, that's millions of dollars potentially coming back into the recreational fishing industry, which at the moment we just don't get.
Yeah. No, Stu, couldn't agree with you more, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on the show. Mate, we hope you hit the download numbers that you did on the first episode. I'm sure you will, but it's been great to catch up with you, mate, and I'm sure we'll see you on the water soon.
No, I appreciate you inviting me back on. Like I said, it's been good to touch base and catch up. Obviously, it's been 2 or 3 years or whatever it's been now since our first one, but I really enjoyed it, and everything's going really good in my world, and just work, beach fishing when I can, kids, and thanks again for having me on.
No, great to talk to you, Stu. Thanks again, mate.
No dramas, boys.
See you, mate. Dizzy, it is always great to have a friend of the show back for round number 2, and Stu was a big hit there, Diz.
Yes, no, you're right, Rody. Stu is a absolute gun. Great to have him on the show. Great to pick his brains about a few things.
And great to hear some of his thoughts on catching tuna and kingfish.
Yes, it is.
Because he does very well on those 2 species.
He does. Got some absolute...
And I am
stonkers.
fairly serious about sending Dad down to do a course.
Yes.
And hopefully Peter can distract him into giving away all his tuna secrets. Although, in all seriousness, Stu's very generous with his advice and time on Facebook.
Yes, he is.
And some of the Facebook pages, so he's not one of those people that keeps everything a secret.
Yep, no, genuinely great.
He's happy to chip in advice around what lures are working, what general area, speeds, knots, all that sort of stuff. He is quite sharing with his expertise, and as he said in that chat, that's the only way for people to learn, Diz.
Yep, absolutely, and that's...
So it's a credit to him for that.
Yeah, it is. It really is. He's a great sort of ambassador, if you like, for the rec fishing scene.
All right, Diz, let's keep moving.
Yes, let's get into the report, Rody. I'm sure that you do follow Trapman Bermagui on Facebook.
They've got some good gear, they do, Diz, down at Bermagui.
Great gear. It often gets posted in a number of different pages across Facebook. Most recently, the Tuna and Offshore Fishing page, and it was a case of a mako and a mako.
Tell us about it, Diz.
So it was obviously a very large mako that had been caught out there.
Yep.
When they took it back to the filleting station, they got stuck into it, and what did they find in the stomach?
A mako.
Another smaller mako chomped into 2 pieces.
It's unbelievable.
Which is quite fascinating if you look at the photo. So we'd encourage all the listeners to jump online and have a look at that, because that's some astonishing...
I'm looking at the picture now, Diz. It's hard to know exact numbers here, but that mako's got to be, 3 or 4 foot?
Oh, yeah, it looks that at least. It's a good, decent-sized mako in
That's
itself.
a fair-sized meal.
That's a bloody great-sized meal.
So you can't see the big mako in its entirety in this picture, but anything that eats a 4-foot mako is doing reasonably well.
That's exactly right.
I don't want to see that swim past me down at Glenelg Beach on me Saturday afternoon.
I don't want to be anywhere near that thing. Thank you very much. They're an aggressive species, the mako, aren't they?
Love to catch one, Diz.
Yes, absolutely. Righto, Roddy. Another one coming out of our fishing report this week is good crab numbers over at Ardrossan.
Yeah, so you went over to Black Point, Diz?
Yeah, we got over there. Ardrossan, fished that sort of area off the spit there at Black Point for some crabs is... always a good spot. You want to look for unless if you're raking for them, then we're talking a different game. If you're drop netting for them...
So you were out in your dad's boat, were you, with the drop nets?
Drop netting.
Yeah, what bait?
We just had some squid heads.
Squid heads, yeah.
Squid heads, a little bit of slimy mac we put in there as well, just get a bit of an oil slick going.
And was this was a big whole day session or just a couple of hours?
Nah, just an hour or so. Just wanted to get a feed, really. We only got about 10.
And were you going regulation crabbing or were you going speed crabbing?
We were just regulation crabbing.
No time trials?
No time trials. No, we did not. We didn't get stuck in them in a big way because, number one, I can't eat them.
Yep.
Number two, we were a bit skimp on time.
Yep.
And it was getting a bit blowy.
Good, Diz. And what about crabs are great, but did you get any whiting?
No, not really.
Oh, jeez. Disappointing.
A bit flat.
Do you want to know my opinion on why?
Something about you not being there, probably.
You were missing your A-grade fisherman. It's actually no wonder you didn't get any.
Nah, there's no fish there, mate.
Well, did you take Dave over to the B-grade spots?
Of course we did.
Bloody shout out to Sando. We only ever take him to the B-grade spots.
Well, Bill was actually there. Caught up with Bill over the weekend.
Is that why you wouldn't take Dave over to the A-grade spots?
Didn't want to go anywhere near him, so that we don't want Bill getting a sniff, basically.
So where'd you go? You went you just sort of picked a patch of weed and dropped anchor there and said, "Here we go, boys."
Just fished the blue line.
The blue line. To attack.
Just fished the blue line.
So what did you catch? Anything?
Yeah, we got some crabs.
No. Did you get any fish? Did
Yeah,
you
we've
get some
got a
leather
few.
jackets? Did you do your Trevally special?
We've got plenty of trumpeters.
Trumpeters.
Yeah, plenty of trumpeters.
Hot water out there. They like the hot water, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I've heard on the vines.
Oh, well.
Anyway.
That's a disappointing contribution to the fishing report, because
Yeah,
whenever I come over to Yorks, we get fish.
Whatever.
All right, what else is going on over there, Diz?
Well, some of our mates over there who, believe it or not, is rolling around in an obscene amount of all the gear but no idea merch because you give it away to him every time. He's Matt Barlow. of
He
course.
bought those 2 jumpers. I gave him about 8 caps.
He's done incredibly well on the blue swimmer crabs and got over the side, did a bit of diving for some scallops, some tasty morsels those scallops are.
Scallops are one of the most underrated seafoods going around.
They're delicious.
If you tell me scallops aren't better than abalone, I'll tell you there's something wrong with you.
Yes, no, they did well, and boy, can you get some scallops. A big bag limit.
Oh, big bag limit. And they're not overpriced. So much seafood is just ridiculously expensive at restaurants and things like that.
I can honestly tell you that I've never gone to a fish shop and gone, I'll have a kilo of scallop. Thanks.
Nah, but you know when you see them at the Chinese shops?
I
like
do, yeah.
Restaurants?
I know exactly what you mean.
They're quite affordable compared to abalone and some of those others.
You get a bag limit of 50.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
that's a
good.
boat of 150. If you got 50 good-sized scallops, you'd have
It's a good feed.
feed.
All right, Diz, what else? The tuna still biting?
Yeah, they are. You would have heard from Stu that you want to get them on the cube.
Yep.
And if you're going to get them on the cube, what are you going to do? Ready?
You're going to get down to Christie's Beach, get the finest IQF pilchards.
Obviously.
Do you know what IQF stands for, Diz?
International quality
Think about it.
flavour.
Think about it.
Dan eats them, he told me it's a good flavour.
Individually quick frozen, I believe. So do you know what that means, Diz?
Yeah, I can Google too, mate.
Do you know what that means?
They're individually frozen.
It means
at
they're
very
frozen on the
fast
boat.
pace.
On the boat. On the boat, Diz. There's a big freezer on the pilchard boat.
That's why they're not frozen flat. And they're all a bit bent. They're all a bit sort of curled over because they're bouncing around, they're flapping, and they're very quickly frozen.
They're frozen from the minute they hit that boat.
Yes.
And they're as fresh as you get, Diz, and that's why you get tuna on them.
Absolutely. Brilliant, Rody. Well, that's good. That's good, mate.
There's the fishing report for you
That's
guys.
pretty good. Not a lot of meat to those to that report this week.
No, well, there would have been more if you caught some fish.
Fair to say.
All right, and we're going to roll into the tackle item, and we're going to have another crack at you.
Oh, yes.
What did you forget to take?
Oh, well, it's not my fault the boat's ill-prepared.
Oh,
There
Davo,
was no-
sort it out, mate.
There's no bloody crab measure on the boat for goodness sakes.
So, did you take illegal crabs?
Of course we did not. We had to improvise. So what did we do? We got a zip tie out.
Yeah.
We obviously measured it to the legal size limit,
Which is?
11 centimetres, and that is of course measured across the carapace, the back of the blue swimmer crab from the base of the largest spine.
So the groove underneath
And
the largest
we
spine.
actually decided to go 12 centimetres just to allow for any natural variation.
You know, crab shells don't shrink in the ice.
No, we
I know you're whiting. They say
we
can
didn't
shrink a
want
little
we
bit.
didn't want the small ones, mate. We'll let them grow to fight another day. We'll just
And you let all the females go, I assume.
We did. We didn't take any females. We don't particularly like the flavour of them as much.
Okay. Well, you don't eat them anyway, so I'm not sure what you're worried about. But
I'm not worried about anything. I was just there for the good times and the banter. And of course, the bag limit is 20. Rody, and a boat then naturally is 60.
all right, Diz. So where can we get a crab measurer for? Where are we going to send Davo to get one?
Well, we're going to send him down to the fishing guru.
Yes, Diz, the
We're
fishing
send him
guru.
down to Let's Go Fishing down at Christie's there, and you're going to get yourself a 3-in-1.
This was a timely post by the fishing guru. We were just chatting on the phone about how Davo didn't have one.
Yeah.
And then he put one up saying our laser engraver has been getting a fair hammering lately. So here's some more 3-in-1 crab/cockle measures that are heading down to How's Your Tackle.
Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, why would you get a blue swimmer crab measurer, plus a sandy measurer,
Yep.
and a cockle measurer, when you can get them all in one.
There's a lot of bits to go missing otherwise in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So jump on the How's Your Tackle page.
Yep.
Or jump in contact with the fishing guru.
Yeah, get on board. Get on board, and while you're at it, get on the socials. Tag us in your most recent fishing adventures. Tag us if you're getting tuna. Tag us if you're catching them at the Wirrina Slam, the John Johnson Memorial. Basically, we want to hear about your fishing trips. Number one, to make Rody a bit jealous because he's probably not going to be fishing for a while. Number two, we just love seeing that gear from you.
We do, guys. Make sure you keep us involved. Even we don't even care if you don't catch fish. If you stitch up your mate, we're up for that.
Absolutely, we are.
If you've got some idiot that forgets the bloody blue swimmer crab measure, let us know.
Stitch them up.
Tell us.
Yes, absolutely. Good stuff, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Great to have Stu back on the show, Rody. I'm sure that'll blow up the numbers.
We're going for PBs here.
Absolutely. Righto, guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Rody and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.